Good afternoon from New Baghetti City, actually from Valencia in the Negros Oriental. I wanted to talk about this new guitar to me. This was made by Alama Guitars, and I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning. I'd seen pictures and postings about Alama Guitars for a couple of years. I knew that they were here in Negros Oriental. The pictures look great, but you know, pictures can be deceptive. So I didn't think very seriously of it, but I kept hearing about them. And then a friend of mine got an Alama guitar, and I liked it a lot. And so I started thinking very seriously about the possibility of getting an Alama acoustic guitar. At the same time, it's a story. Many years ago, I had 35 years ago. I had a small-bodied Guild guitar that was maple back and sides, very small-bodied, sweet-sounding, not a big-sounding guitar. It had a short scale, meaning the distance from the nut to the saddle was a little shorter than normal. The width at the nut was thinner than normal, narrower. For that reason, with my small hands, I could play it so easily. It just was wonderful to play. And I miss that guitar. Like a lot of other guitars, it went the way of being broke at the time. But I'd always thought about it. So when I decided to get an Alama guitar, and I thought, what do I want? I decided to get a little bit smaller bodied guitar. So this is a 00 sized guitar. So that's significantly smaller than a Dreadnought, and it's a little bit smaller than a 000. So it's sort of a mid-sized guitar. It has a little bit shorter scale. I asked William Alama to make the neck narrow to my specifications. So this came to me about 2 days ago. They had literally strung it up like the day before, so it's only had strings on it for a few days. It's just really one of the most beautiful guitars I've ever owned or seen, even in a really simple way. By that I mean, sometimes I've seen very fancy, expensive guitars that had fancy inlay and thousands of dollars worth of extra appointments to make it look great. This doesn't have that. It's just beautiful. So let me talk about the things that it has and what I asked William to do. I wanted local sustainable woods. William does a variety of Western tone woods as well, but the top is Gemelina. The back and sides are acacia. You can see the back. The sides are the same acacia. The neck is Philippines mahogany. These are fairly standard for Alama. He does a lot of Gemelina top, acacia back and sides. The neck wood is probably his standard neck wood. The extra things that I did, one is an armrest, and maybe I'll take a picture of that so you can see that it's a beveled armrest, and it's actually pretty comfortable to put, you know, your arm so it's not sticking and getting jabbed at an edge. So there's an armrest, there's a cutaway. William does several styles of cutaways. I think this was called a scoop cutaway. I'll take a picture of it so you can get an idea of why it's scooped. So those were different. The other thing that we added is a sound hole port. This opens and closes, and these have become more and more popular over the last 20-25 years. I'd never owned one, so I thought, why not? You open up the port and you can hear yourself a little bit more sound. There's some advantages to it. There's perhaps some disadvantages to it, but I thought it was cool, so I got the sound hole port. And of course, the other thing I got was a sunburst finish, and I'd seen pictures of several different sunbursts that he did, and I liked this one in particular. Sort of a, I like mocha color. It's sort of a mocha color finish on the Gemelina top. One of the things that all of Alama guitars have is nitrocellulose lacquer. This is, in the Western world, a high-end finish. Usually it's, many years ago, everything was nitro lacquered, but today it's mostly high-end guitars, both acoustic and electric, that are nitro lacquered, because it's more of, you need more handwork, you need more expertise. Polyurethane has sort of taken over in some other modern finishes. So this is nitro, which I love. It's just a beautiful finish, both to look at and to the touch. Couple other things that I did. One that you can't see on the neck, I had William do carbon reinforced rods, carbon fiber reinforced rods to help with stability. I provided these tuning machines. I had this set of Goto Gold with pearl button tuning machines. I've had them in my shop for 5, 6, 7 years, intending to use them on a special guitar. So I decided to use them on this. At the same time, I had a set of boxwood pins, bridge pins. So I asked to use the boxwood bridge pins. He normally, I think, uses bone, which is very good. So those were the extra things in the guitar beyond the standard. One of the things that's remarkable, and we'll take some pictures, all the appointments on the guitar, meaning the binding, the bridge, the rosette around the sound hole, the headstock veneer, both the top veneer and the back veneer, are coconut shell. They're not wood. They're actually coconut shell. Not only are those coconut shell, so is the fingerboard. The fingerboard is made of coconut shell, and I'll take some more pictures so we can get close-ups. It's unique, it's beautiful, it feels great, it almost feels like ebony. My friends and I have speculated how this is done. We assume that there's some sort of a tiling process, because you don't get you don't get a piece of coconut that this is long. So I assume pieces have been tiled together and glued together. But for the life of me, I cannot find any kind of glue joints. I've got older eyes, so maybe I can't see them, but they're hidden remarkably well, assuming that I'm correct that it's tiled. It looks like a solid piece of coconut shell. The coconut shell is beautiful. It takes finish very well on like the headstock or on the binding. Unfinished, of course, would be the bridge. The bridge of an acoustic guitar is normally not finished, nor is the fingerboard. So these are polished but not finished. It's just a remarkably beautiful instrument. I'm tempted to play it, and I know everybody would like to hear it, but I'm recording this on my iPhone and it sounds kind of crappy. But at some point I'll put together a real video with a better audio. Also, I'll put a link to a video that Alama did with this guitar, with an actual microphone, so that you can hear that. But I thought I'd do a quick review. Those who know me know that I have owned a number of guitars in my life, and a number of very good guitars. I build guitars, so I like to think that I built a few pretty good guitars, and I've played hundreds of great guitars, either in stores, at guitar shows. I've met and played instruments by some of the world's great luthiers, and this can hold its own against instruments that are much more expensive, that are made in the US or Europe or around the world. I don't necessarily need to quote the price on this instrument because Alama, and it's fantastic, on his Facebook page puts the prices, all the prices of the extras, so you can easily see what you want, what it's going to cost. The only things that aren't there, if you want something really specialized, a wood that isn't standard or some other design that isn't standard, then you'd have to negotiate the prices of that. But everything else that I've talked about in this guitar, you can see right on his page. The bottom line is, if you're comparing to a Western luthier, they're much less expensive. That said, since most of his customers are from the Philippines, it's not an inexpensive guitar for a Philippines musician, but it certainly was, compared to going out and buying a Martin, buying a Taylor, let alone buying a custom-made instrument, it's much less expensive. So I'm just ecstatically happy with it. And acoustic guitars open up. They're a little stiff when you first play them, but over the course of a month, even 6 months to a year, they'll open up. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this starts to really open up as we go along. But as you can see, even though I said I wasn't going to play, I really like playing it so much. If anybody has any questions, I'm open to discussing this. One other thing to tell you, not only did I get the guitar, he includes a very nice gig bag. Let me grab it. So this gig bag came with the instrument. It's padded, so it's not bad at all. It's got padding. It's very nicely done. It's not fancy, but considering that's included with the guitar, it's quite nice. I understand that this is made by a bag maker here in Negros Oriental, and it's very nice. When I opened up the compartment, first, this blew my mind. He had my strings, the strings that I had provided for the guitar. He had the package as if it were barely opened. That impressed me. He included a truss rod wrench. A lot of guitar makers do not do this anymore. They're on your own. He also included a couple of picks that were made of coconut shell. So, and they're very nice, actually. And then the last thing that really blew my mind, I saw this box and I went, what the heck is this box? I opened it up and there's a small hygrometer in the box, which here in the Philippines, where humidity is a big issue, just having this is a great idea, but it's just a wonderful little extra for the customer. Oh, there's one more thing that I did want to mention about the guitar. A few days before the guitar was done, I met with William, and he actually showed me the guitar minus the frets. The frets had not been put on yet. So I was excited. I knew that we were close to the end. All we had to do is put the frets on, finish the setup of the guitar, string it up, and we'd be done. He asked me at the time, would I like Evo Gold frets? Evo Gold frets are made by Jescar, which is my favorite fret company. They have, it's hard to, I don't know if we'll be able to see this in the video. They have a goldish color. They're copper based instead of nickel based. The fret material is a little harder than nickel frets, although not as hard as stainless steel, and they're becoming very popular. They're also certainly much more expensive than regular nickel frets. So he said, I got one set left, would you like it? I think it would go great with the guitar. And I said, sure, how much extra will that be? And I was quickly told, no extra, I'd be happy to do it. So I said, yes, go for it. So they're beautiful frets. They have sort of a gold reflection in the light, and they'll last probably as long as I will. So it was just one more thing to really show how important it was for William to make a beautiful guitar, and this is it. So very, very happy with this instrument. Feel free to send me a message if you have any questions about it, and certainly feel free to ask William any questions you might have for him to make a guitar for you. He really makes customized instruments, so you get to pick and choose just about anything that you might want. So I'm excited, as you can tell.